In for Gatos today is one Matt Salmon. Thanks for being here today, Matt.
Great to be here, Bruce.
All righty. So, you know what? It's interesting, and I do feel the need to kind of remind people. I want to make sure not everybody knows your background. You served 2 tours in Congress. 2 different times. You've been
a total of 10 years.
10 years in Washington, D.C. And so I love it when you're in here because I get to ask questions like the behind the curtain stuff, the things that we don't see. And I have a question for you. So the Epstein story is kind of the story in D.C. right now. And now that the shutdown's over, it might be a fair way to put it, right? It's jumped back up to the top. And I think I learned a new term, discharge. Petition.
Right.
Learned a new term. That was not in Schoolhouse Rock. So
no,
I did
it was
not
not
know
in
it.
Schoolhouse Rock.
I never brought it. It doesn't rhyme with anything, probably, is one of the problems. But apparently we are going to have a vote in the House of Representatives on, quote unquote, releasing the Epstein files.
Probably within the next week or 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
because, just let me explain the discharge petition.
Again, because I'm trying to understand it all.
So there are 435 members of the U.S. House.
That I knew.
So if a majority, 218, sign a discharge petition, it forces the House to vote on it.
It forces the Speaker, even if he didn't want to vote on it.
Correct.
Which, by the way, he obviously didn't want to vote on it, right?
That's exactly
But now
right.
there's 218, which means a few Republicans cross the aisle.
Yeah, I think about 4.
That's all it takes because it's a very narrow margin, right?
Right.
But now when a vote comes up to release it, there are whisperings, inklings, and talks that a lot more Republicans might actually vote to release the Epstein files than signed the petition. Is that fair?
I think that's true. I think you're going to see a larger number of people.
And so here's my question. Help me understand why. Help me understand the political calculation. And we don't have to talk about a specific politician because I don't think it's relevant.
Right.
You have Republican blank representing the great state of wherever and district, who cares? They did not sign the petition.
Right.
Nope. But they're planning on voting yes on releasing the files.
Sure.
What is that calculation? What are they going through?
So look, let's talk about what's going to happen after all is said and done.
Oh.
Okay. The House will vote on it, and given the fact that they have 218, it will pass the House.
It'll pass.
It will pass the House.
As a piece of legislation.
The piece of legislation. And then it will go to the Senate,
right?
Where you may find 1 or 2 Republicans that join with Democrats. But
that's
when you
not
talk
enough.
about cloture, again, cloture applies because the discharge petition doesn't really apply to the Senate vote.
Got it. So they need
House.
60 votes in the Senate?
They need 60 votes in the Senate, and that's not going to happen.
You can barely get 60 votes in the Senate to vote that it's Friday.
Right, exactly. Or that the sun is out.
Right.
So the likelihood that it's going to get through the Senate is pretty slim.
But let's say it did,
but
some crazy thing.
Let's say it did, for the sake of argument. Then Trump has to sign it into law, and that ain't going to happen.
And you don't think that'll happen either?
I don't think that's going to happen.
Really? Interesting. Because, again...
So the reason I bring that up, Bruce, is because the real push was on not ever having the vote in the first place.
Not having to be on the record as what side of the fence are you on this.
But now that it's actually going to come up for a vote, I think all bets are off.
Yeah. I'm very cynical when it comes to our elected representatives. I think that
As you should be.
They exist only to get reelected, is what I believe until I'm proven different. So are they running through the calculations? Because apparently all the Democrats are going to vote for it because it makes Trump, they think it makes Trump look bad.
Right.
But Republicans voting for it, they're like, they got their finger up to the breeze going, well, what do my voters think,
There may be a couple of them that are actually motivated by what they believe is a sense of what's right.
Okay.
But
those are few and far between.
The fact is, most of them, yes, are licking their finger and putting it to the wind.
Yeah.
And there are still a lot of MAGA people, and that's why both Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene are 2 of the
They're on the side of...
They signed the
petition.
Right.
They joined with the Democrats.
Vote. Right.
Yeah. So you at least got 2 votes there, probably.
Right. You at least got 2 votes there. But
Although Trump did call Boebert into the Situation Room to try to
he
lean
did,
on her, right?
and she kind of changed her story throughout the day.
Oh, yeah.
First saying, "Well, he didn't really pressure me," and then later on, kind of acknowledging that maybe he did pressure her a little bit.
Yeah.
I think Trump doesn't want this vote to happen because he just wants it to go away.
Right, doesn't like that people are talking about
because he knows that it's not going to go the distance, and because ultimately he has to sign it, and I don't believe. That
And
he's
you
gonna
don't
do that.
think that MAGA world will hold him responsible for running on releasing the files, for the MAGA world talking about the Epstein files for the last 4 years,
Right.
Demanding its release,
including his head of the FBI,
right,
Kash
demanding
Patel.
it day one,
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
And now they're all just going to pretend this isn't really happening,
Right, and Pam Bondi, having said a couple of months ago that when asked about all of the stuff regarding
Right.
Epstein, it's all on my desk for review right now.
Right.
And then suddenly
Can't find it.
There's no list.
Nothing there.
But the list was there, but now it's not.
There's no there.
So crazy.
Yeah, I think of it as, and again, I use the term political calculations.
There's still a large segment of MAGA world that really, really do want that information public. As you mentioned, rightly so, it was an issue that Trump campaigned
It's a campaign
on.
issue.
It was an issue that, Kash Patel, brought up numerous times.
Well, I've always believed when it comes to this, because I am not, I'm agnostic on the Epstein files.
Right.
Okay? I am. But I've always believed that the only reason people were fervently for its release is because they thought
The other side
it
was-
hurt their political enemies more. The people they hate more were going to be hurt by it, and therefore they want it
But
released.
there's a large segment of people out there that, like yourself, are maybe politically agnostic, but they consider themselves MAGA, but it is a big deal to them.
Really?
And it not because it hurts the other side more than their side, because they really hate the idea of these pedophiles.
Pedophile rings.
Yeah.
Well, we had a conversation yesterday, and yesterday was a big day kind of in the Epstein world, I guess you would call it. But, I think it's important to point out that outside of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, his girlfriend, partner, co-conspirator, groomer, convicted felon as
Right.
well,
Right.
no one else has even been charged.
Right.
With having sex with underage girls. And Epstein and Maxwell bragged about the fact that they were bringing people, that this was kind of a ring they were running. It wasn't all for them.
He talked about the fact that he used that information as leverage to get other things that he wanted.
He wanted to bribe people.
Right.
He wanted to have stuff
Blackmail
on them,
people.
right?
Right.
But how come none of those people have been called to account?
It's
That's what to me is
incredibly
frustrating.
disturbing to me.
Yeah. Like, we know there's victims.
Right.
I heard some number. They said there could be up to 1,000 victims.
And it breaks your heart.
From Epstein over the course of, 15 years or so.
Right.
Where are the Johns, for lack of better terms?
No,
right?
I think that's a really, really valid question. And it makes you wonder if power and prestige are buying their way out of this thing.
Well, you'd be hard pressed to argue it's not.
Right.
I mean, just looking at the facts from the outside. Again,
Right.
even if you were Epstein agnostic, you'd look at this and go, okay, yeah, good. Those guys should have gone to jail. Epstein and Maxwell, bury them under the jail, 100%.
Right.
Ran a pedophile ring, raped underage girls, 100%. But they weren't the only ones.
But anybody along the way that had
Yeah.
sex with an underage girl should be prosecuted for pedophilia.
I put it this way: he wasn't
Or
alone on that
statutory rape.
island. He wasn't alone on those planes.
Right.
Like there was a group of people who multiple times.
And to refer to it as some kind of a hoax,
Well-
the fact is this has all been documented.
Right. Well, there's people who have gone to jail for it. How can it be a hoax?
Exactly. And,
Right?
and Epstein,
Yeah.
and a lot of people, don't believe that he committed suicide either.
Right. Well, remember, anytime Trump calls something a hoax, it's a metaphysical certitude that it's real, okay? He only calls things hoaxes that he really wishes you didn't want to believe, right?
Yeah.
That is no doubt easily provable.
Thanks for watching Outspoken with Bruce and Gatos. Tap to watch more from KTAR News and click the button in the middle to subscribe.